Biddy said, snapping the dust rag. Do you think the head of the neutrino collection program is going to keep his mouth shut just because Hanratty says so? And I will? Yes, not because of who you are, but what you are. Face it doesn't matter what else we know or what else we've done. We really are bloody fucking janitors, and not much else for the next 9 months. Cass stared at her. Where's the real Biddy Newell, and what have you done with her? I don't like class distinctions any more than you do, my sweet. But the way to survive an Antarctic winter is by keeping your head down. You don't want to stick out as a troublemaker before they've even shut the doors, do you? Cass thought about it. She didn't feel good about the stigma of being a staffer, but it especially stung to think that Hanratty might be banking on the double standard of some kind of class hierarchy to keep her quiet about Cheryl's death. Artificial class divisions had never made sense to her. Even when there was a full crew of 200 over the summer season from November to February, staffers were expected to wear several hats, which meant most of the crew were competent, educated, and resourceful, and no one came to Antarctica if they didn't already have guts and drive on top of that. The breakfast cook could also be a core member of the fire response team. The carpenter might be a backup IT specialist. But over the 9 months of the austral winter, when Shackleton's crew was cut down to 44, each person on staff really was a walking jack-of-all-trades, capable of backstopping 4 or 5 jobs. Cass herself was Shackleton's winter-over mechanic, plumber, and carpenter, and was expected to be able to stand in for the physical plant engineer and run the fuel, HVAC, and waste systems without batting an eye if she had to. Biddy was on the base's emergency medical team, lent the cooks a hand with dinners, and had recently learned enough electrical engineering to help out in the E-Systems lab. With those kinds of skills, not to mention the ambition it took just to land a job in Antarctica, you'd think you'd garner some respect. But, at times, what most people recognized Biddy and Cass for was being, well, bloody fucking janitors and not much else. What do you think happened to the girl anyway? Biddy said, switching gears. You never said. I shouldn't have even told you that much. Oh, look who's caving to authority now. You'll walk in here and announce that you just strapped the body of a friend of mine to the back of a snowmobile, but you won't tell me what you think happened. You were not friends with Cheryl. Not in the traditional sense, no, Biddy said. She always was a bitch to me. I'm not so sorry to see her go, to tell the truth. Biddy! She waved the dustcloth dismissively. I'm just pulling the piss. It's sad, no doubt about it. Even if she did tell me she found dust in her room after each time I cleaned it. She did that once. Once was enough. Anyway, what happened to her? She'd twisted her ankle, definitely broken, not just sprained. Poor thing went hypothermic and tried crawling the whole way, did she? Well, she was heading back toward Shackleton when we found her, Cass said, then frowned at the memory. Victims of hypothermia were almost always discovered in the fetal position, or at least that's what all the training manuals had said. Why had they found Cheryl flat on her back? A terrible way to go, Biddy shuddered. Was it like going to sleep, do you think? I suppose. Cass's voice trailed off, the image of Cheryl's arms and legs rocking stiffly back and forth as she was loaded onto the sled so much like the time before. Other arms, other legs, other people. Cass, hon, are you all right? Biddy was suddenly next to her, a hand under her elbow for support. Don't go passing out on me. I'm fine. I'm okay. Bollocks, she said, pushing her down onto the couch. I'm sorry I made a joke out of the poor dear's death. It's the only way I know how to handle tragedy, but it's not everyone's approach, I know. It's just not what I signed on for, that's all. Cass smoothed her hair back with both hands. I knew that coming here would be dangerous, but for Christ's sake, when's the last time anyone died at the South Pole? Biddy clucked sympathetically. It's a shock, no doubt. We're supposed to have every technological advantage, every modern device, yet people can still freeze to death. The unfairness is enough to drive you mad. But I suppose what's important is how we handle it, don't you think? I guess so. Cass pushed herself off the couch and took up her station at the vacuum. Could we talk about some